time in which you will look at those days that are fertile. You avoid meeting with your partner. So avoid meeting with your partner during those days that are fertile, while you meet with your partner during those days that are not fertile. For people who have very short cycle, this is very interesting, and you need to understand that for people with very short cycle, they are fertile immediately after their flow. So if you have cycle of 21, you have cycle of 22, you have cycle of 23, you're fertile immediately after your flow. And if you're fertile immediately after your flow, this is something that you need to take care about, because you can get pregnant without even knowing. We have ladies that have gone for medical abortion just because they got pregnant without knowing. Some maybe they have had 2, 3, 4 kids, 5 kids, and pregnancy still come because they have very short cycle. So they were meeting thinking that, oh, come on, they're fine. Meeting thinking that, oh, come on, they're not fine. That nothing can happen, and you see, they become pregnant. So this is something that you need to take note about. So the menstrual cycle is something that you will use in order for you to prevent before you meet with your spouse. People with very short cycle know that immediately after your flow, you are fertile. 21-day cycle, you don't even need any day after your flow. You don't need any day. If you're 21-day cycle, you are fertile right immediately after your flow. Therefore means if you flow for 3 days before you're fertile, if you flow for 4 days, day 5, you're fertile automatically. So we should take note about that. Why people with very long cycle, if your cycle very long as 35 days is the longest cycle, then your fertile window comes a little bit ahead, right from day 17. So that's really far. So it therefore means that what if you want to avoid pregnancy and you have very short cycle, what do you really need to do? So if you want to avoid pregnancy before you meet with your man, then make sure that you have counted. If you have a cycle of 21 days, 21-day cycle, it will mean that you are fertile from day 3 right up to day 9. You're fertile from day 3 right up to day 9 if you're 21-day cycle, and that is the shortest menstrual cycle. So what are you going to do? You are going to avoid meeting with your partner between these days. So you rather meet with your partner probably above day 9, that is around day 10, day 11. So you start meeting with your partner around day 11, day 12. In that way, you avoid pregnancy before you meet with your partner. So you've already counted. So you've counted these days, and you know that, hey, come on, I will meet with my partner, but on this day. That's why we said these are things that you need to do before you meet. If you look at the topic here, those things that you know in order to avoid pregnancy, those things that you need to do before or after, right? Before you meet, what are you going to do? Your cycle is 1. So if you have very short cycle, the right time to meet with your partner is from day 10 and above. People with 21-day cycle, day 10 and above. You can consider day 11, because if you are avoiding pregnancy, you should give more days, right? You should give more days. So you can start from day 11. Start from day 11 upward. Therefore means you can't get pregnant from day 11 if you are a 21-day cycle. If you are a 22-day cycle, you start from day 12 upward. Well, what we mean by day 12, we are not talking about 12th of December. We are not talking about 12th of January. We are not talking about 12th of February. We are not talking about 12th of May. We mean 12 from the day you start menstruating. So if you start menstruating today will be your day 1. We should not get confused between you actually menstruating and the normal calendar. Your normal calendar will be there maybe to direct you, but your menstrual days, you start counting from the first day of flow. The first day of flow is always your day 1. So if you have very short cycle, like someone with 21 days cycle, then the best time to meet if you don't want to get pregnant will be what? Day 10, day 11 above. So if you're 22-day cycle, you meet from day 13 and above. That's how it should be. Now, people with very long cycle, as 35-day cycle, if you have very long cycle, you have to meet when you are not fertile. And when are you not fertile? If you have very long cycle, you are not fertile right from day 17. So you have 17, you have 18, you have 19, you have 20, you have 21. you have 22, you have 23. So from day 17 right up to day 23, that is when you are not fertile. Sorry, that is when you are fertile. For somebody who is 21, who is 35-day cycle. 35-day cycle is the longest cycle. So you become fertile from day 23, from day 21, sorry, day 17, right up to 23. So day 17 right up to 23, you are fertile. So what do you need to do in order not to get pregnant? So you have to calculate those days and you meet with your hubby out of these days. So you either meet with your hubby before day 17 or after day 23. So that is what you should do if you have very long cycle. Not that people with very long cycle, they may get confused and start thinking that, hey, come on now, probably they should meet with your partner, they should meet with your spouse, maybe immediately after maybe day 10. No. If your cycle is 35-day cycle, you can get pregnant if you meet on day 10. Yeah, it will be difficult for you to get pregnant if you meet on day 10. Day 11, no. Day 12 is from day 17. So if you want to avoid pregnancy, what do you know? What do you need to do? You need to meet with your spouse in the days that are out of day 17, right up to day 23, if you have a 35-day cycle. So that is what you should do for people with very long cycle. But if you want to get pregnant, then the 17 right up to 21, the 23 should be when you should meet with your spouse. So that will be it for menstrual cycle. If you want any details about the menstrual cycle, please visit our videos. We made several videos. Even one of the latest that we discuss about has to do with the menstrual cycle. So visit it and you also understand it better. We can also discuss if you want to. My WhatsApp number is 00237